Success Manager for Civil Solutions in Southeast Asia. I am based in Singapore. Okay, so today is the start of a three-part series webinar that we have prepared for this region's engineers, BIM professionals, civil designers, and all professionals basically involved in infrastructure projects currently. And we will commence this presentation on how we can help you jumpstart your design in minutes using OpenRoads ConceptStation. Now, as I mentioned, this will be a three-part series. So starting today and tomorrow, we'll be having the part 2. Okay, and then next week will be the part 3 around August 20. Okay, for the last session of the series. Now, our agenda for today is here. Okay, so I'll be introducing to you Bentley Civil Design Solutions. And of course, with a focus on OpenRoads ConceptStation. And I will be showing you how we can create a preliminary design using ConceptStation. And then by the preliminary design that you have created, create some design scenarios and derive some cost estimations as well, so that you can have a cost-effective project, okay, and then giving you a good result in terms of your decision making. And then also a little bit on visualization, because the ConceptStation also has a visualization engine. And on the latter part, we probably would address some Q&As or questions that you guys would like us to address. Okay. Now, to start, you may well be aware that an infrastructure project doesn't only involve one discipline. It comprises numerous disciplines that needs an effective workflow in order to collaborate efficiently. So as you see here in this slide, a typical infrastructure model would involve, probably if it's a rail project, right? It would involve rail alignment, road or probably access roads, and of course, building models that would comprise probably your stations. And if, let's say, for instance, the project is in an urban area, maybe a tunnel corridor would be best fit for your project. And then not to mention all the other disciplines that would go together with the others I've mentioned, like geotechnical, your utilities underground and above ground, and of course, bridges as well. And if it's a rail project, maybe there would be a rail overhead line or maybe other detailing aspect of the design. And through decades, the evolution of technology, or we have seen that the evolution of technology has basically helped the infrastructure projects to be effectively conceptualized, designed, and built in a manner that is faster than before. And our industry has been living through a digital transformation that has started from CAD, which basically took our design from paper to computers. And then next, on the late or probably around early 2000, we moved the CAD to BIM, or Building Information Models, wherein we see 3D models of almost all those plan design that we had before. And advancing through this digital age, we now have gone through a transformation wherein, especially for Bentley system, we have been working hard at adding the missing dimension, like the 4D, the 5D aspect of the design by creating digital twins. And together with Bentley Transportation Solutions, we have unique solutions and workflows spanning from planning design, analysis, construction, and operations. All of these connected to the iTwin services capability. And as you can see here, Bentley has the most complete transportation solution in the market today. It includes products and capabilities from those phases that I mentioned: planning, design, analysis, even construction up to operations. All of these coordinated around our iTwin service. And our emphasis for this series would be more into the design phase, specifically the civil design aspect. And emphasizing on civil design itself, it basically involves fusion of different solutions to make sure you have a seamless workflow. But today, as I have mentioned, we will be focusing on the conceptual design phase, okay, specifically using ConceptStation as your design solution. But of course, later on, you would also see that we'll go through creating a visualization. And then at the background of this is the connected data environment working, okay, for you to leverage on this digital twin that I have mentioned earlier. Okay, so now let us first understand these solutions that we have for civil design. Our emphasis basically today would be more on ConceptStation. It has two flavors. We have OpenRoads ConceptStation as well as OpenRail ConceptStation. Now, these two conceptual design solutions are meant to create preliminary civil design for roads, okay, and for rail. Okay, it's just that if you're more into the rail type of project or infrastructure project, maybe it's better for you to use OpenRail ConceptStation because it gives you more appropriate design tools or preliminary design tools specific for rail alignment or rail corridor design. But of course, we also have this detailed design solutions that starts from OpenRail Designer, OpenRoads Designer, and then OpenSite Designer. Now, the focus for today would be more on the OpenRoads Designer, from where, OpenRail ConceptStation, okay, from where we will create preliminary designs of our roads as well as bridges, and probably giving you other options like cost estimations and then visualizations. Okay. So what then is OpenRoads ConceptStation? As I've mentioned, OpenRoads ConceptStation is Bentley's solution for quick conceptual modeling. It allows designers or planners to quickly convert their idea into an intelligent 3D model, create designs that explores different scenarios or alternatives without going through the hassles of remodeling in days or even months. Alongside with this, understand the financial implications earlier on in the preliminary design process with the goal of optimizing the cost as well as improving the project results. And finally, create stunning and realistic visualizations that can be shared with project stakeholders. And in this presentation, we will aim to see all these benefits using a sample project that we have created. Now, let me give you this scenario, okay? Because it's better to discuss the software if we have a sample project okay, that you can all visualize. Okay, so let's now put ourselves in a scenario where we need to propose improve access roads on the north side of a railway, okay, with the aim of promoting commercial or maybe residential growth in our project area. Here we are given some options, okay, to propose location of new rail station site, okay, as well as roads that will be linked to existing infrastructures. Okay, now here are the two possible locations of the rail station. And depending on which one you would decide on using later on, you have to tie this rail station with existing roads, okay, that are already present in the project area. Now, how do we start? Now let's start. Okay, so most civil design projects need survey or terrain data in order to begin. Okay, with ConceptStation, we are given a choice of leveraging on free data that are available on the web. We just need to identify first the project location so that when you take this conceptual data to detailed design, the proper coordinate system of the project is also preserved, and create more or less like a tentative area or boundary. Okay. Then using the geo-coordination service of the software, we can download some terrain data that might be suitable. Okay. This might not be suitable for detailed design, but could be good enough for conceptual modeling. Okay, so you're given a choice depending on the area as to downloading high resolution type of data, okay, which is, or probably a low resolution if your concern is the file size. And then from this, you can now start uh, layouting your roads. Okay. Now, if let's say, for instance, your area is not, or probably in your area there is not a good web data available. Okay, you have this option of using what we call, or probably your survey data. Okay, in different formats, maybe land XML, okay, or maybe TIN or DTM. Okay, that's also a possibility as a start. Now, with technology, we have this an option, okay, to use what we call reality mesh or reality models, which may already be available if your project owner has provided you with these 3D reality meshes. Now, you don't need to use geo-coordination services because you're connecting directly to the reality model. And this is also a higher resolution option, okay, as compared to the previous option. Okay, but of course, having a good reality model will depend on how this reality model was captured. Okay, probably using drones, okay, or images that are processed using our reality modeling solution. Okay, so I mentioned a while ago that we have to propose, or we have to come up with two road options. Okay, so how do we start with this design? So as you saw earlier, we already have a terrain to start from. Okay, but given the first road option, okay, so what we will do now is create, okay, an initial direction, okay, of our option one road or road one option, which is in this case we call it the Mastracola's road option one. And with OpenRoads ConceptStation, you get to choose, okay, a ready-made set of road classes, okay, and each of these road classes would have its templates, okay. So these templates are predefined for you, but of course they are also customizable, okay. And the road class that you've chosen would basically have the super elevation data, okay, and the pavement data that you need. Okay, so depending on the speed assignment that you will use, okay, and then maybe for the profile, okay, you have to probably assign a best fit or use a best fit type of profile, which you can also modify later on. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm trying to locate, okay, some good location of my horizontal PIs, okay, for my road. Okay, now this area that you're seeing is basically the first option location for our train station, okay, that is in the east side of our project area. And then as we move towards the west side, okay, we are trying to lay out, okay, a possible location of our road as well. Now notice, okay, the green areas that you're seeing are basically the cut as well as the fills, which are automatically computed by the software because of the terrain data that you have. Okay, so after this, what if you still have to modify your alignment? Okay, now when you're modifying your alignment, okay, you are given heads up type of editing, okay, wherein every clicks that you would do present or will present a dynamic option for you to modify your horizontal, okay, as well as your vertical geometry. Okay, so the editing are dynamic, okay. Every time you click a PI or maybe a significant point in your alignment, as you are seeing here, we're doing an edit on the horizontal alignment, okay, but basically it's already a corridor, okay. It allows you to easily see the result of the edits that you're doing, okay. Now, what happens in your long section? If, let's say, for instance, if you recall a while ago, we did a best fit only, okay? But what if you have to edit them? So editing in the vertical aspect or the long section aspect of the corridor, okay, is almost similar to how you do it in your horizontal, okay? Although we've chosen a best fit type, okay, but we still probably can optimize our vertical profile, okay, by adding in vertical PIs, okay, adjusting your vertical curves by length or maybe by K value. Okay, so if you notice here, all you need to do is just grab on to that annotation, okay, and then change the value as you drag them, okay, as you click on them. Again, please make sure, please take note that we are doing a conceptual modeling only. Okay, so all those detailed aspects will be taken care by another solution, which we will discuss on the second part of this series. Now, yes, you've already created your horizontal as well as your vertical. What if you want to examine the cross-section of your corridor? So the cross sections now can easily be identified by just clicking on the cross section icon, and then it will give you a cross section locator, okay, showing you the relative position of that cross section that you're looking at. And this cross sections will have its chainage or station assignments dynamically extracted from the corridor model. And because of the road class that you have chosen, okay, the road model that you have created are super elevated, okay, automatically, okay, because of the road class. Okay. And as you can see here, as we scroll through the curve, you're seeing that the road in its cross-section view is super elevating already. Okay, and then we can have some tools as well to measure some side slopes or distances, which is pretty much straightforward in order for you to get quick information on how you created your conceptual model. Now, let's say you're done with option 1, okay, of the Mastrocolas road that we are creating. What if your owner, okay, or your stakeholder wants you to propose another option wherein the station is, or the rail station will be on the left side of the, or the west side of the project area? So how do you do that? Now, the process is similar as how you saw it in our first road option, okay? It's just that you can quickly, again, create and lay it out fast, okay? By again choosing the road class that you need. Okay. Incidentally, we're using the same road class. It's just that we are going to tie in or tie it in on the western part of our project area. Now, this is more or less like an automated geometric design that allows you to focus on your positions, okay, instead of focusing on the templates that you're using. So in this illustration here or video that you're looking at, the rail station is located now at the west side. Okay. Now, given that scenario, okay, so probably this option, okay, is best, okay, for the owners. Now, later on, I'll be discussing what was the basis, okay, what was the basis for that choosing option number 2, okay. Now, what comes with option number 2 is laying out, or our laying out of the other roads or access road that will connect to the station, as well as link, okay, the station roads, okay, or the roads leading to the stations to the existing roads that we have in the project area. Okay. Now, incidentally, the name of that road that we will be laying out is Mackay, which will incidentally have a second option as well. Okay. And what we're doing right now is choosing more or less like a rural type, okay, this time of a road template, because in this area it's not the area is more like not well developed. Okay, so what we're gonna do is lay out a proposed location of Mackay Road. Okay, and then again using the same tools that we have been doing, okay, create or maybe further optimize your design by editing, okay, our vertical geometry, okay, and making sure that at some point it's matching, okay, some of the critical points are matching to our existing road, okay. And actually what you're seeing right now is making sure that we're tying into existing roads as well as the existing rail alignment or rail corridor that is already present in the project area. Okay. And if you notice here, okay, there is an intersection that we will try to create later on, just to make sure that we give a good option for the Mackay Road option 1. Now, what about creating a second option for Mackay Road? Again, This is using the second option for the main road, which is the Mastrocolas Road. Okay, but this time we will try to create as a different option. Okay, a different option wherein we would be making sure, okay, that we are not gonna create an at-grade type of road, but instead we will present or we will create an option to create a bridge, okay, instead of a rail crossing, which is at grade. Okay, so as you can see here, we're now trying to estimate, okay, using the tool, where would the second option for Mackay Road will be located. Okay, now notice how there's a need for us to modify our profile, okay, in order for us to tie into some existing roads, and also, okay, make sure that a bridge segment can be introduced just above the existing rail alignment or rail corridor. Now, we have, if you can see in the model, there's already like a modeled corridor of rail station. Okay. Now, with OpenRoads Designer, we also have a capability of modeling this type of corridor. Okay. It's just that we cannot add in any more rail specific type of objects. Okay, so adjusting the vertical profile of Mackay Road option 2, we will make sure that it's high enough, okay, for a bridge, okay, to be designed in this location. Okay, so further adjusting of our vertical profile would make sure that we are tying in just nicely on the existing ground, okay, and existing road that are present. And if, let's say, for instance, this vertical profile is already good enough, okay, what we will do next is modify, okay, that corridor and change a segment of it to become a bridge, okay, and then choose a good superstructure, beam, okay, and abutment, as well as make sure that clearances are met because we have an existing rail corridor just below that particular second option of road. Now, how do we do that? Using the bridge tool, okay, all you need to do is just choose a structure type, okay, and of course the template for bridge, okay. Alongside with it, you have to choose probably a beam type, okay. We have some available library already inside OpenRoads ConceptStation, okay, and then abutment type is also available, okay, and then from this layout from midway, okay, near the existing railway, that bridge deck that we want to introduce. Okay, and notice how dynamic the corridor updated, okay, as you modify and change the template in that particular location. Okay, and also as you modify, probably you want to lengthen the bridge deck, okay. Notice how the earthworks also updates. Okay? And again, we are working on a 3D model here already. Okay, although I'm showing it to you on a top view, but if you notice when you rotate the model, it's basically is 3-dimensional. And from here, if you want to make sure that you're observing a good or a recommended bridge clearance with respect to the existing rail station, we have a clearance check tool that will allow you to set a specific clearance. So like for instance here, the actual clearance right now is around 4.12 meters, okay? But it is expected that the clearance should be 5 or more than 5 meters. So with this, okay, since we have been given a notification that our bridge clearance is not correct, okay, we can then adjust the vertical profile and just to make sure that we are meeting that specific bridge clearance that we need. So from here, we now have met around 5 meters, which is probably good enough already, okay, in order for us to continue on with our design. Now, our bridge deck is okay, okay? What happens to that intersection that we have introduced earlier on? So how do we create that? So creating intersection in OpenRoads ConceptStation is pretty much quick. Okay, as you can see here, just identify the major road. Then the software will basically give you some dynamic glyphs showing a preview of how the cross section would look like. Okay, and then it will immediately you can edit them and modify the geometry in a similar manner that you did the main alignment or the main corridor. Okay, fully editable geometry, which would not affect the original library. Okay, because basically you're doing it in the model already. And then if you notice here, pavement markings are also added. Okay, if it so happens that it's a left-hand drive or right-hand drive, okay, depending on the area of your project, you can also modify that. Okay. Now, how about introducing other types of road types? Okay, other types of road alignments. So like for instance, a while ago you saw intersection. How about roundabouts? Now, roundabouts, okay, are modeled pretty much in a similar manner as how you do it in the intersection. So all you need to do is probably just lay out all those important or significant road that you need to add. So take note, okay? So our aim here is to have some access roads that would lead towards our proposed roads as well as the station. Okay, so this is where our second option of the rail station would be located. And we have to just make sure that there would be some roads that will lead to the Master Colas Road as well as the second option of Mackays roads that we lay out. And using the roundabout tool, okay, so all you need to do again is just select the minor or the major road that you would identify, and then a roundabout will automatically be created for you. Okay. Now we're just adding another T intersection on the leftmost or westernmost side of the station or proposed location of the station, just to make sure that the station itself is accessible to the second option of Mackay Road that we have added. And again, don't forget, you can you have an available or an automatic pavement markings already laid out. Okay, but these pavement markings can also be customized if you wish to. Okay. Now, once your corridor is done, okay, again, bear in mind, we're choosing option number 2 for Master Colas Road. And then we've already laid out 2 options for the access road, which is named as Mackay Road. Okay. Now, what is the next step? The next step is for you to create street furnitures. Okay, so this street furnitures would include maybe lighting, guardrails, fences, or maybe sound barriers or sound walls, signs, or even benches. Okay, now OpenRoads ConceptStation is pulling this library from our content center. Okay, and you can can have a say as to what would be the content, okay, that the software is pulling in from your content center. So all you need to do is just set this up using your Bentley Connect account, okay, and then load in those libraries that you need so that ConceptStation can download them through the cloud, okay. Now, how's the process done? Okay. So all you need to do is just call in the furniture or street furniture command, okay, and then choose what type of street furniture that you would like to lay out. Again, downloading it from initially, okay, downloading it from the content center, but once it's already available, okay, all you need to do is just choose from it. Now you have an option to follow, okay, the direction of the alignment that you have. Notice how it follows the horizontal geometry or horizontal alignment, okay? And then all you need to do is just place the start or probably the end, okay, of the street furniture that you are laying out. So in this case, we are using a street light or a lamp, okay, post, and you can further modify the orientation, okay, or the angle of this street furniture, as well as its distance or offset distance from the center line of your corridor model. Okay, so as you can see here, okay, as we do an adjustment, okay, from the start, okay, of our corridor, change the offset value, which basically would also update the other uh, libraries, okay, or the other street furnitures. Okay, spacing as well, you can modify that if you feel like you laid them out in a very short interval, okay, you just modify them according to the properties as you see it in the interface of ConceptStation. Now, going back to our design, okay, I told you that we gave two design options for the main road, which is Master Colas, okay, and then we've chosen design option number two, okay, and then after that we created two other options for the access road on the west side of our corridor. Okay. Now, how do we use this design scenarios in order for us to finalize our design decisions? Okay. So how do we do that? So with OpenRoads ConceptStation, it gives you the ability to create different design scenarios. If you notice here, those scenarios that I have mentioned are listed here on the upper right corner of the software, wherein we have option number 1 for Master Colas as well as option number 2 for Master Colas Road. And then remember, we have two options for Mackay Road as well. Okay, and then with option 1, okay, wherein the rail station is located on the east side of the project area, okay, and then option 2, wherein our rail station would be located on the west area. And with this, okay, we've also created two options, okay, for the other access road, okay, taking into consideration that we are accepting option number 2, okay. But how did we decide as to which option should be used? Okay. how did we arrive at using view option 2 for Mastrocolas, and then view option number 2, okay, for Mackays Road. Okay, if you can recall, that option for Mackay is the one with the bridge. Okay, the one with the bridge deck, and we finalized that with putting in some intersection, roundabout, as well as T-junction. Okay. So this design scenario that you have seen a while ago actually has a corresponding cost estimate by scenario. Okay, so in order for us to have an informed decision, okay, as to which final, okay, final preliminary, okay, I might be in contradiction with the words I'm using, but with this, okay, we actually have a cost estimate. So our option 1 is roughly around 3.8 meters based on the cost estimate report. Okay, and then how about option 2? Option 2 this time gives us around $3.5 million. Okay, now with this in mind, the reason why we chose option 2 is because of this cost estimate. Okay, now with option number 2 being the best option for Mastrocolas Road, okay, given the cost, okay, we again are presented with two options with Mackays Road. Although, if you notice, option 1 for Mackay Road is a bit cheaper, okay, but maybe probably because of some consideration in terms of creating bridges, okay, instead of doing an upgrade type of road, we've chosen Mackay option number 2. Okay, and with that, it gave us an overall cost of around $21.5 million. Okay, and then we will now save this. Okay, we will now save this final option as rail station design option. Okay, now if you want to view the detailed report, you're also are able to do so, okay, because the software allows you to show detailed quantity as well as cost reports. Now the costings, you can customize it, the rate, as well as the percentage. Let's say if you notice, we did not do any drainage as well as some electrical layout, but you can assign like a percentage as to how much of the project cost can be considered for drainage, electrical, traffic control, and other environmental concerns. Okay, and having that particular option as the final one, when you export that into an Excel file, it gives you a tab. Okay, it gives a detailed tab for every options that you have chosen. Okay, so that's why we arrive at that final cost, okay, which you've seen in our design or preliminary design. So the cost estimate basically gave us, okay, a better and well-informed information, or so that we can have a good information, or we can derive a good information from that preliminary design that we have created. And once you have already created that final, okay, preliminary design, okay, what you can do next is to create a visualization by using the Luminarity tool, okay, which is built in already in the software. Okay, you can create scenes, you can create snapshots, as well as export them into video files, okay, as you finalize your design. So these are some of the examples that you can arrive at, okay, in terms of the visualization that is available in OpenRoads ConceptStation. Create a high resolution snapshot of your project, as you can see here. Okay, and notice, okay, you can also place additional furnitures, okay, like trees, or even adjust the time of the day, even the season. Okay, remember initially that your area or your project area is located in a real location in the globe. Okay, so that's why you have a way in terms of adjusting the time of the day as well as the season, so that your trees, okay, could also represent more or less the or reflect the season of the year. Okay, you can add vehicles if your project entails you to have a rail. Okay, you can add that you can add rails. Okay, and you can even put in people. Okay, uh, as well as even animals, if you feel like putting them in, there could be uh, what do you call this, a bird flying over your scene. Okay, that's also possible. Okay, so what you're seeing here is a final output of OpenRoads ConceptStation by using the built-in LumenRT tool, okay, inside the software. Okay, so as I said, you can output them into a video file or maybe an image file, depending on the requirement that you are needed to deliver. Okay, and don't forget as well, okay, since we are making sure that this conceptual model can be taken towards detailed design later on, you have an option, okay, to output your model to DGN, okay, or probably other formats. So if you need to take in the geometry to OpenRoads Designer, you can output that into LandXML or maybe an ALG format. Okay, the terrain as well, you can output into DTM, and uh, and making sure, okay, so whatever you have created in the conceptual model can also be taken to the detailed design aspect. Okay, and notice here that you can also input buildings, okay, which may have been created in other softwares, as long as it's geo-coordinated or geolocated properly. So all you need to do is just use the attached tool of OpenRoads ConceptStation, and that particular 3D model will also go to its proper location. Okay, there. So that's it for my presentation. If in any case, okay, you have some questions, okay, regarding what I've shown you today, okay, you can just type them in the chat box, okay, and so I see that we have some questions already, Derek. So I would just like to read some of this. Okay. Okay. For the others who are just typing their questions, okay, probably it would be best if you guys would answer this poll question that I have projected on the screen. Okay, so while I go through the questions that have been typed, okay, in the Q&A box, let me just go through with this. Okay, so we have this one question coming from Sir Alfaro. Okay, so which Bentley software is highly recommended in terms of flexibility in designing structures? Okay, if you're referring to structures like buildings, okay, or maybe bridges, we have other softwares that could address that. Now, specifically for maybe buildings, we have Open Buildings Designer. Then for bridges, we have Open Building Designer. which I think was also, I think they also have a series of webinars as well. I'm just not too sure if it was done last week or still ongoing. Okay, so yeah. Okay, now other question. So okay. There are some who are asking how to get their certificate. Okay, I think Derek has already mentioned earlier that you can get certificate by yeah, you will receive it through your email. I think Derek already answered it in the chat box, so I hope Mr. De Los Santos has already seen it. Okay. This webinar will be available on demand approximately 1 day after the session, because we have one gentleman asking if this webinar would be available, or a video of this webinar would be available. Okay, so again, an on-demand version of this, or a not live version of this webinar will be available exactly 1 day after the session. All you need to do is just use the same link as you used to log in this webinar, so that you can watch the on-demand version. Okay. Then we have another one. Now there is this question from Miss Consortia. Okay. Is the finished output can be opened, or can be opened and view in AutoCAD? You can output the finished model into DGN. Okay, and I believe if I'm not mistaken, the DGN format can be opened in AutoCAD as well. And probably after that, you can just save it as DWG. Okay. Then we have another question here. Okay, so there is a question from a student. Okay, he's saying that he is a third-year student. What specific software do you recommend for design? Now, this basically is a conceptual design software, okay, a quick tool for you to create conceptual models for roads, rails, or even site, okay? But if you're referring to detailed design, okay, of, again, roads, rails, bridges, okay, or even site, we have OpenRoads Designer, okay, Open Site Designer, and then if it happens to have a bridge, okay, involved, we have Open Bridge Designer as well. Okay, and this softwares that I've mentioned, okay, uses MicroStation as the CAD engine. Okay, as the CAD engine. Okay, so I hope that answers the question. Okay. And then we have another question here. Okay. Okay. So Daniel is saying hi from the Philippines. Yes, I'm a Filipina. So, kumusta? Hello. Okay. We hope to see you again tomorrow. There's this part 2 as well as part 3 next week. Okay. And there's this another question from Mr. Pablo Cando, okay, Junior, from JPPI. Can you convert Civil 3D files to OpenRoads? Okay, that's a good question. I was a Civil 3D user as well before, okay? In order for you to collaborate or to leverage on getting your Civil 3D files into OpenRoads, okay, there is a way for you to export them into LandXML. So this is like a format, okay? It's a standard civil interchange formats for most of the civil design software. So all you need to do is just export probably your terrain or surface model to LandXML, your alignment as well to LandXML, okay? And then from there, OpenRoads can open it, okay, and convert it into DGN. Okay, so I hope that that addresses the question. Okay. Now we have another question from Mr. Christian of WSP. Okay, does the software use can the software be used to generate average traffic flow to show more realistic traffic in an existing road? For OpenRoads ConceptStation, yes. Okay, so there is already a built-in tool that will allow you to create a traffic simulation. But if you want it to be more realistic, okay, there is a capability wherein you can output the OpenRoads ConceptStation traffic simulation into Vissim, okay, and the Vissim software is the one who's going to create the realistic traffic simulation, okay, and then OpenRoads ConceptStation can import that inside ConceptStation, okay, so that your traffic, okay, render would be more realistic rather than just scripted type of modeling. Okay, so okay. Now another question. With this software, okay, there is another question from Mr. Moises Almuete Jr. So with this software, cost estimate and detailed drawings of the road design will also be available in the output. Now, again, take note that OpenRoads ConceptStation is basically a solution for you to create quick conceptual design. Okay, now the cost estimate that you did, okay, while you create this preliminary design can be output into Excel, okay? But if you're referring to the drawing itself or the model itself, you can output it into DGN, okay? The alignments can be outputted into or exported into geometry file like land XML, okay, or ALG, and the corridor model itself can be exported into a corridor model file, which is Bentley format IRD, okay, but of course it has to be opened, okay, inside OpenRoads Designer, okay, which we will discuss tomorrow. So I hope you guys will stay put and I mean you will come back again tomorrow and listen to the discussion that I will do for OpenRoads Designer. Okay, because as I mentioned, and also the DGN, okay, as what was asked a while ago, since it can be outputted into or exported into DGN, okay, this DGN file, if you happen to use the third-party software, okay, the other software, you can open the DGN, okay, and save it as DWG, okay. Okay, so I hope I addressed the question properly. Okay, so probably last two question, okay, that we can address. Okay, again, don't forget to please answer the poll question that we have projected on the screen. Okay, so one last another question from Edna Agoo. Is the software capable of swept path analysis? OpenRoads ConceptStation is not able to do that. Okay, it's really more of the conceptual modeling only. Okay, but for swept path, okay, we have, if we're talking about swept path for rail, we have that in OpenRail Designer. Okay, but for OpenRoads, we are still, okay, I think we still don't have that capability in OpenRoads, especially for the car swept path, because there's a different direction in terms of the other solutions that will be added very soon. So this might be added in another uh, uh, package, okay, later on. Okay, so one last question before we conclude the day. Does Open Roads have vehicle tracking built in? Uh, Vehicle tracking, no, not not yet, or no, there's no capability for vehicle tracking for this solution. Okay, although you can create traffic simulations, okay, output into Vissim to make it more realistic, so that you can have like a scripted type of traffic animation, but it cannot do vehicle tracking yet. Okay, so okay, so so any other questions? So again, I would like to say thank you for all those who type in their questions. So hello to Charles, Daniel, okay, who's just saying hi, and I hope you guys will also attend tomorrow, okay? Because we will be now digging into Open Roads Designer, okay? Which is basically for information modeling for detailed road design. Okay, so Derek,
Yeah.
that's all
Yeah.
for
Thanks.
me.
Yeah. No problem. Thanks, Milan, for this great presentation. I think we showcase how powerful open road or civil design solution that Bentley have. So just register for tomorrow's session and we can continue from there, which is the part two of this series. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow. Thank